Mum guilt in a state agency. Today I'm joined by Verona Frankish, who's the boss lady of YOPA, who is the 7th largest estate agency brand in the UK. Verona, talk to me about mum guilt, how you got over it, and what women can learn from you, and also what us men can also do to help the cause. Talk to me.
Sure. So I would say in my 30s and early 40s, when my kids were younger, I definitely suffered from mum guilt. But that was about, I was trying to be all things to all people. And there are times in our lives where we all try to do that. It became very evident to me that the only person that was suffering as a consequence of that was me, because my kids never felt that I was giving less. My boss never thought I was giving less. My husband never thought I was giving less, but I did. I always felt I was trying to be all things to all people. When I had the realization that you cannot be all things to all people all the time, that took a huge amount of pressure off my shoulders.
What made you realize that?
Do you know, I read a book. There's a theme because I do a lot of reading, and it was the lady who set up the cosmetic company called IT, and I can't remember her name, but the book is called Believe IT, Believe It, and she talked about exactly the same challenges in her world. And she said she met with a CEO of a big conglomerate, and she said to her, "Do you always feel the pressure of having to be slim and having to be glamorous?" She just said, "No, I don't feel that at all, because I've come to the realization that I cannot be all of those things to all of those people. Something has to give." And it was like a bullet to me, which was like, you're right, something has to give. And therefore is the thing that was probably most under pressure was my own sanity. So if you acknowledge and you have an agreement with your family that the house isn't always going to be perfect. You're not always going to look as glam as you want to. You're not going to be perfect at your job, and you're not going to be perfect at being a mum. Sometimes you miss the play. Sometimes you miss an event you would rather not. But be okay with that. Be okay with that. And that has genuinely helped me to feel that a lot less. I also would say I have an unbelievably supportive husband. So we're now at a point in our careers where he is a CEO of the foundation, but he works 3 days a week. I work 5+ days a week. And that's an agreement whereby he's supporting me, and we've sort of done this over our career. But I have that relationship, and I've got the ability to do that. Not everybody has that. So I'm also very fortunate.
So as a man, and I'm making sweeping statements here about heterosexual relationships and those other relationships, but I can only talk as a man. Partners. We'll go with partners.
Yeah.
The art is to sit down with your partner and work out exactly what you're going to do to do the heavy lifting, to take the share.
Yeah, I think it's essential.
Because you know what as men are like, you ladies can spend all day cleaning the bathroom.
And you'll allow us to do it. Yeah.
But if we empty the bin, then we need a medal, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. And a round of applause. Yeah, exactly. And I think you're absolutely right. It's, call it a contract, call it a conversation. But I think any big change in someone's career, or even a small change that means you're going from working 4 days to 5 days a week, you're going from working part-time to full-time, you need to sit down and agree what that looks like at a local level in your home, because otherwise resentment builds up. Otherwise, you're going to feel...
That's a killer,
isn't it? Absolutely. And if it's not discussed, I'm definitely one of these people. If we have something to talk about, it's on the table. I can't let it fester inside. I have to talk about it. Then you talk about it and you move on.
Boys, if you haven't watched it or read it, Men Are From Mars,
Women Are From Venus.
Fantastic book.
Yep.
It changed my relationship with my wife and the way I think.
We're just wired differently, and we need to acknowledge that we're wired differently to come from a place of understanding what the other needs.
Because it scared me in that book that the women, and again I'm making sense, but the book says women will give you like brownie points, and one brownie point is emptying the dishwasher, one is emptying the bin, and one is going out to work, and they all have equal standing, and that blew my mind. Because you think, well, I'm a hero. The vast majority, most the men bring in most of the money, so they should get the. No, it's in women's eyes, it's just tick box.
And yeah, I mean, that's a
I
really,
still think I need a medal though for doing the dishwashing.
yeah, get over yourself. I think it's interesting though that the whole the man bringing in the money thing, and we measure our worth by how much money we put on the table. Like that's really dangerous territory
Yes.
because you're valuing what you bring to the relationship with a family by the point notes, and that's really dangerous. So I would definitely discourage people to think things
Okay.
in that way.
Another one that a lot of women have said, talking about mum guilt, is the fear of judgment of other women. How do you get over that one?
Oh, this is actually quite an easy one for me because I have for a very, very long time now been very comfortable in my own skin. I'm unapologetically, authentically me. I am who I am. I've got strong sense of values and a strong sense of self. And as a consequence to that, I surround myself with the people that value who I am, and I value their friendship. I don't worry about impressing or being judged by other people because I'm really comfortable with who I am.
That's very easy to say. Most people would. What tips would you give to people to get over that?
Well, first of all, have a very clear sense of who you are and what you want to be. And actually, it's a good point because I'm a mentor at Agents Together, and one of the things that the conversation I probably have most with my mentees, I'm also a coach, I'm a qualified coach and I coach a lot of my people because that's just the day job. That's what I do as a leader. And one of the most important things is to understand who you are. What are the values that you align yourself to, your actions on a daily basis? And there's company values, of course, but there's also the core values that are in yourself. And once you're clear about who you are, it's so much easier to understand and to not really care. It's not about not caring actually, because I care for people a lot, but I won't apologize for who I am. And I also am very confident that the people I surround myself with know who I am and what's important to me. And therefore, I don't have that fear of being judged. So be clear about who you are, be clear about the values that you're aligning yourself to. And then importantly, act those out consistently. So be that person. Don't say, here's my values and actually behave in a different way. Be that person day in, day out. And if there are people that are being repelled by that and either judging you or not, syncing with you, then they're probably people that shouldn't be in your life. And it's as straightforward as that, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you very much for your time today, Verona.
You're welcome.